Hello my lovely friends and welcome back to my channel. Today I make this mixed media piece and I'm working on a reused canvas. It's 40 by 40 centimeter long and my plan is to use that old rusty thing you see there that I found in my backyard. My house is really old, so I find a lot of cool stuff buried in the ground, and I also want to use this table runner that I bought only to use as texture in the background of some project, and today I'm going to use it. I kind of think this will be a long video because this project took me several hours over different days to make. So I will try to explain while I go along what I'm doing, but I just have to edit the video quite hard. This first layer I just glue down using matte medium. Okay, my gesso is empty. So I think I will use modeling paste, crackle paste and crackle paint to cover this, and that for sure will give nice texture. Now I have a lot of nice texture going on, but that table runner is too much in your face still. So I collage some pieces of just copy paper and book pages to create another layer and break up that table runner a little bit. Now I start the layering process, and that's just a process you need to start, not procrastinating about the finished result or anything, because the first layers of paint you put down, they maybe not even be visible in the end, but I wanted to add this dark gray color here because I knew I had a lot of cracking going on. And by adding some darker paint that you allow to seep down into the cracks, it enhances them. And also by just starting this process, you start your creative process as well, because you need to start to get those to get the mojo started. Anyway, that's how it is for me, and that makes new ideas come up, and yes, just go with it, go with the flow, do what makes you happy, and the art is for you, and no one else need to like it. Of course, there will be people that will love it, but the main thing is that you enjoy making it. Okay, so now I started to play with my composition. The scrap pieces from the Crafty board are great to use as 3D pads to add dimension, and in this case to level that old thing. I think it's a tool of some kind. I love to salvage old things that has been thrown away and forgotten, and I'm always on the lookout for treasures to use in my artwork. So from now I start to build up my composition. I add even more layers, as you can see here, and I go along, or I just come up with things as I go along. I have no clear plan in my head where this is going. I get inspired to just continue to work and use the ideas that come to my mind. Here I add a layer of gesso on top of the sand texture paste. The sand texture paste is quite hard when it's dry and slightly glossy, and I want my paints to adhere well to the surface. So I go over the Crafty board that needs protection, and I go over the stenciled parts that I want to be able to take my paints better. I used a quite muted color palette this time because I found these things in my backyard, in the nature. I want the feeling of this painting to be quite natural. So I just continue to add layers and layers of the different colors that I'm going for. The gray and green and blue is also a great contrasting color to the reddish rusty color. So I want to keep the background quite natural and subtle. I dilute the paints with water to make them blend and make them run and not be so saturated with color. As you can see in the lighting in the video, this is the next day, and I continue to build up layers with my paints. Now it's time to glue down my pieces, and I use a heavy gel medium to do so. I used the leftover paint on my craft mat to color in some other That's Crafty board pieces, and I also add a little touch of silver here and there to match the metal ball on my rusty thing. Now I take a wire and I use this other old rusty thing that you see here, and I attach all the craft board elements and lead the wire inside a little hole you can see there, and make a kind of a 3D element on the canvas using these things. Now my pieces are where I want them to be, and now I add some That's Crafty acrylic liquid wax to add some to make the embossing powder stick on top of my little crafty board pieces. Now I use some quinacridone gold fluid acrylic and that grey that is in the background, and I try to make the rusty metal pieces blend in more with the painting by adding those colors in the background too, and make it kind of look like the rust has rusty color has run down the painting. As the last steps, I dry brush some gesso on top of the texture to make it pop, and I also add some That's Crafty acrylic fluid wax on top of my crafty board elements, and that's because I want to add contrast between the really matte surface of the rusty pieces, and by adding the liquid wax I create kind of a sheen on the crafty board pieces, and that creates some interest, I think, to play with different kind of finishes. That was all for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this really long video, but this painting took me so many hours to make, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Please like and subscribe if you did. Hope to see you back on my channel soon again. Bye bye!